Welcome to your weekly airplane news update. This is the week of March 28th, 2022. We get 4 stories this week. The first one is a fundraiser to rebuild the Antonov AN225 that was destroyed in Ukraine. We'll talk about East Hampton Airport that is going to become a private airport. We'll also talk about the new Interim FAA Administrator that was finally named and until they find the full FAA Administrator. And then lastly, we'll have an update on the China Eastern crash that happened last week. Let's get to it. And the first thing this week is, we've mentioned this before, the Antonov AN225 was destroyed in Ukraine during the invasion by Russia. And Antonov is calling for AN225 Fans to help rebuild the aircraft. Now, they're looking to raise $3 billion. I know this sounds like a massive number, but they're hoping to get this aircraft back up in the air. The current aircraft, which is the only one that was produced and that is currently flying, is obviously not able to do this. It was more or less completely destroyed. And the reason why this aircraft is so important, you might think, this is kind of a pride thing. Yes, I'm sure it is a pride thing for Ukraine to have this massive aircraft flying around, but also this aircraft is designed to carry certain very big pieces of heavy equipment into emergency situation, into national disaster. So it has a purpose that at the moment no other aircraft can produce. So if you are feeling so inclined, there is going to be a link down in here if you want to donate to the fundraiser, and hopefully we can see that that majestic, gigantic aircraft up in the air in the next few years. The next story this week is East Hampton Airport is going to become a private airport. We mentioned this a couple months ago when the FAA had told them to be extremely careful with this plan, because if that's what they wanted to do, they were going to be losing quite a bit at that airport. While the town of East Hampton decided that they were going to go forward with it, and that the airport is going to close on May 17th, and it's going to reopen as a private airport on May 19th. So that's coming up pretty soon. After reopening, the pilots that are wishing to use the airport are going to need to apply for a special permission to get in there. Next story this week is the FAA Administrator. We mentioned that current Administrator Steve Dickson is going to officially step down coming up very soon. And Billy Nolan is currently the Associate Administrator for Aviation Safety. He's going to be stepping up to be the Interim FAA Administrator. He's been at the job for only 3 months with this portion of the branch. He has a pretty long resume. He comes from WestJet, where he was the VP for Safety, Security, and Quality. So if you want more information on this, make sure you click on the link down here from AvWeb. This is going to be interesting to see who's going to be replacing him. There are some candidates apparently that have been announced officially or unofficially. I'm not quite sure. So they'll be going through interviews and everything before they get assigned to the job by the president. This is appointed by the president. And the last update is an update from the China Eastern accident or crash that happened last week. We mentioned this in our last news update. It looks like there was an apparent in-flight breakup. Now, the reason for the breakup is still unclear, and it's still unclear whether the breakup happened after the deep dive and then they went back up and then they crashed again, or if it was during the flight when they were cruising. They were able to get the transmitter associated with the flight, so they're going to be looking at that data and then finally giving us a final update. I'm sure it will be pretty quick for them to figure out the information. Whether or not we will get access to the information is going to be a different story because of the political climate, but we'll keep you posted as soon as we hear more information. All right, this is all I have for you this week. As always, like, subscribe, leave your comments, and we'll see you next week.